Technically this would be part of the unboxing, but here we are. I didn't show you this in the first video, but what comes in the package is you've got your 4 handles with, of course, the fasteners that come with them. You get 4 metal bench dogs. I'll probably end up using these. I think I'll probably make more wood ones because I'd be a little afraid of damage to my tools. You get 4 wood, very tall bench dogs. Get a bag of screws. Looks like all wood screws, all the same length. More fasteners, hex head. Barrel nut and bolt. A couple washers, or 1 washer, and a fastener. And a whole bag of barrel nut and bolts. All I'm doing is taking those barrel nuts, dropping them into that hole that is created in the 2 ends. These thread into those, thus pulling the legs into this cross brace. There's a groove on these cross braces to allow for that bottom shelf. So you want those facing inward when you assemble this. Otherwise, you're not going to have anything for the shelf to sit on. Alright, so the problem I ran into, only because I modified the top of this table, is that I added this portion here is supposed to attach to the underside of the original top. But because I beefed that up and added 1 7/8 inches of material, we're going to effectively have to take out 1 7/8 inches here, shorten this up before these slides will actually align with the slides on both legs. So we've modified this thing, but now, as I do not have my alignment pegs that were originally in the bottom of this piece, what I'm going to have to do is measure from one side to the center. Actually, what I might do is divide this and measure dead center on that. So I've got 47 1/8 off of the wood, which would be 23.5. Not a feeling that labor in the sure it's not real. Carrying a whole field drill. Chemical egg. Fish. She's open. Not long. Yeah, that's right. All right, so this particle board piece is supposed to support the partition on the bottom. I've got two beefs with that. One, particle board is not very strong. I understand this is really just to keep this from moving side to side so that the drawers don't get bound up as you open and close it. But they've got, on the ends, they've got some holes drilled expecting you to drive a screw into the end grain of this particle board. That's going to do jack diddly. I'm going to have to change this out. I'm going to put it in for now, only because I'd really like to get this thing assembled. And this doesn't really have any bearing on the stability, the downward stability of this unit, but I'm not happy about that. Yeah. So right here, you're putting two holes in the same spot. There's the two screws that you're supposed to put in there. And right there is the resulting split, because particle board or fiber board MDF is not supposed to hold a screw like that. Up here, not that big of an issue. That should bind, but this won't hold the screw. So it is a really dumb design. Again, they expected, they had some barrel nuts that now I cannot get at the holes that were down inside on the runner underneath this leg, so I can't use those. All right, well, have it. There is the top attached. Now obviously we have to flip this thing upside down and start assembling the drawers, so let's go ahead and do that. So now, got some drawers to assemble. These are drawer size, which height, armor. 18, 18, 19, 19, 19, excuse me, right left. Oh, that's these drawers, you have no hands to friends. These average. Just to what is P1, P4, P3, P4, American. One even, one, drawer itself, two, P4, drawer left. You have no first one, P1. Now they don't tell you this in the instructions, but these have a front and a back. I kind of missed the boat on that one. And there is no slot to differentiate one side from the other. No, wait, I'm sorry, there is. All right, so here you go. So P4, you want to line these up in such a way that the slot is continuous. That way, when you slide your panel in, obviously it will fit and actually slide into something. So let's go ahead and pull out these screws. I'm really not enthused about part of this build being particle board. I give this a couple months before I... Yes. Not nearly long enough. Please tell me that's a joke. So the screws protrude from the slider by about a ½ inch. A portion of the length that these screws protrude from the runners is made up of the tip, which has no binding power. So once you eliminate the tip, which is probably about up to my nail there, you only have about a ½ inch of actual grabbing power. Generally speaking, with a screw, you need approximately 3/4 of an inch for that screw to actually be effective in attaching whatever it is that you're attaching to the second component. So right off the bat, I'm going to have to dig through my stockpile, pre-drill those drawer fronts and drawer backs to accept a proper length screw. Not happy about that. Alright, so let's see. Got a ye old box of Melanie fasteners. No. You got your rockers all good. Nails. 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 All this stuck. Nails. Nails. Ooh, 1.25" exterior screw. That might just do the trick. Ooh, brand new box too. Alright, so original screw looks to be about 5/8 long. Up 3/4. New one's 1.25". That should give me the bite I need. Let's find out, shall we? I think this is far enough away from any edge grain that I don't have to pre-drill. That's what I'm talking about. So right off the bat, I know the next step is going to be to take the panel. Yep. And we're going to slide that into the groove that has been provided. Now these panels do have pre-drilled screws that have been countersunk in the back. I want to make sure those stay in the back. Yep, no support. Again, not a fan of that. That means that I am dependent on the screw being secured into the wood to engage this panel. Deal breaker, not really. Best design in the world? Not really. But we'll fly with it. And I think, so these have not been pre-drilled. So they're depending on you to line this up in such a way that it is going to line up perfectly with that hole. I'm going to go ahead and get a clamp out, clamp that in place and pre-drill it. So in this case, let me see if I can show you. Alright, so when you are choosing a drill bit, what you want is you want to choose a drill bit that is smaller than the shank of the screw. So as you can see, those threads will have plenty of grab once I drill this hole out. It is almost the same size as the shank of the screw itself. That's ideal. That'll give you grabbing power in the material that you are attaching, as well as the material that you're attaching to. Okay, so we've chosen our drill bit. So having multiple drills is handy, assuming you have good battery. I wonder if these will work for that. Alright, so the original screws are working to attach the base to the back, but I'm not going to trust them to attach the sides to the back. I would definitely recommend pre-drilling these, as the proximity of the hole here is very close to the edge of the grain of the back of the drawer. If you were to drive a screw into that without pre-drilling, there's a very good chance you'll probably split the material. Not here. Yeah, I can do that. Now, because I knew that I was probably going to end up having to put this flat surface on the tabletop, that's why I held off on putting the handle on. Otherwise, you got the handle on that, that's going to be rocking all over the place. So when you do assemble this, it asks you to put the handle onto the drawer front, but you wouldn't be able to do that. So save it to last. So we ran into a snag. So the top support of the center partition is interfering with this drawer. I'm bumping into that. That wouldn't have occurred if I hadn't modified the top. I think the easiest solution to get around that, not too worried about what these drawers are going to hold, is going to be to cut away the top side of just these top drawers, just to allow that clearance for that drawer to get in and out. As you might have been able to see in the time lapse, as I went to put that first drawer into the bottom of the right hand side, the bearings blew up on me. So now we're going to have to go in and modify. Found all the bearings. I have to go in and modify, get all the bearings back in their places. Hopefully this thing will still work. I know I've never modified bearing slides before, so oops. Wonders never cease. I honestly didn't think I'd be able to pull that off. Okay. Well, that's the assembly. This video ended up being a little longer than I anticipated, but I hope you enjoyed it. The outcome of the table, I'm fairly happy with it for what my purposes are. As far as a true woodworking bench, I did notice that as I was planing the piece of wood that the table did sway a little bit, enough to make it a problem for me, not really. I'll have to definitely make some more bench dogs. You saw this thing splitting apart. I'll have to make some specifically for my purposes. And I think I'll probably drill these holes down just a little bit. I may drill a couple of them out and just deal with the dust that's resulting in the drawers, only because I do plan on getting a bench clamp which will pinch. I'll need to go all the way through in order for it to pinch the piece of material to the table. Because of that, I really do need to go through the whole top, but overall I'm actually fairly pleased. The drawers suck. I will say that. I will be rebuilding those. the depth on them is not good. I went ahead and put some of my tools in here. The depth is a problem. It does not go all the way to the back of the table. And on top of that, the drawer slides don't open all the way. So you're only getting, with my fingers touching the back, that's another 4 or 5 inches back into the drawer that I can't put my tools to be able to reach them. That's a bit of an issue. For right now, I'm not going to worry about it too much because I'll probably end up having to rebuild after I drill these holes out. And I'm going to probably move these drawers all the way down and just have a lower shelf to put things like my chisels over there, drills, whatever else I may end up leaving with this. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. If you hit that like button down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I really do appreciate you watching these, and I hope you do enjoy them. If you want to get notified when I release new videos, go ahead and hit that bell. I'll see you next time.